knowing what I'm talking about or not talking. So just we show what we do as a festival and talk a little bit about the community and how we would like to, invite all the artists to know a little bit better, and we would like to know you guys as well a little bit better and what you're working with. So I'm gonna share here my screen. Okay, I can't. Why is that? I can't share, Jenny. I don't know why.
No, in a second. Make co-host. Make co-host. Do you have the green button, the share screen button?
Yeah. Okay, so now. Oh yeah, now it's working.
Yeah, and don't forget
like,
to share.
Yeah, the sound. Okay.
We're in.
Okay. I made a little PowerPoint so I can talk a little. So the festival. So with the Five Lumps Arts Festival, we're a community-based arts festival, and we work in the area of Dublin North inner city. Roisin Lonergan, that is here as well. She started the festival in 2007. She had this idea that the community of Dublin 1 wasn't using all the venues there is available in the area. We have the Abbey Theatre, we have CHQ, Daylight Studio, many great venues around the area, and the population of Dublin inner city actually don't use this. They don't go to the theatre. There wasn't actually being part of all the resources that is around. So she decided to create a community-based festival and make arts a little bit, inclusive for the people in the area. So what we have here is some of the logos we did for all different projects that we have. So I just put a few of them here. So to show that is one of our things as we create projects and we create the logos. We love a little logo. Graphic design, and so our mission, I'll read that for you. So the Five Lamps Arts Festival is committed to inclusivity, participation, environment enhancement, and the creation and presentation of locally relevant, artistically ambitious work. It aims to contribute to the development perception of the Five Lumps area as a positive and creative place in which live and work. As I don't know, you probably live in there, you know that the area has few issues. It's a community that deals with poverty and violence, the problem with drugs. We have people struggling to just going ahead, and a lot of children in the streets, and that's I think our aim, like focus is to help those children in a kind of way and through arts. So we do loads of different projects, and a new thing is usually we talk about Dublin or inner city, and it's all about people from Ireland, the real Dubliners, but now the population is a mix, and we have loads of people, different communities. We have more than 100 different countries, living in the area, like all the people from across the world, and they live there because it's a cheap area to live as well. So we're trying to integrate the new communities. So we are talking about all the projects we do. So we start as a annual based community festival that used to happen every year during the spring and for 5 to 7 days. But then from the last 4 years, we started to do different projects through the year. So we're now working only for the festival. We work in different festivals. We do some events for different festivals, and we create our own projects in different, in the schools. So last year was the first year we have the festival online. Of course, COVID came out and we couldn't have the festival. So we decided to do online. So we did an online version. It was very good, actually. We filmed 2 days in Delight Studios. It's in very close there, the fire station. And we had music, poetry, we had theater, and now 2 full days of filming, and we got a very good mixed festival with dance, and was our first experience doing this. But this year we're doing it again, but we decided to not have just one date. We're going to do things through the year, as we don't have it, to be with audience, and also give us flexibility, to work through the years. So some of our projects are, the biggest one at the moment is the Mapping Dublin's North Side, that we create a series of, just gonna go through them. So first, you see, I need the slides. I get lost to start to talk about different things. So this year for the festival 2021, we do online version that's going to be different performance events through the year. The first event is going to be the International Women's Day. We're going to film in the Grand Social, with the venue, the North Side as well. So it's a pub, but of course they're closed. Well, we're going to film there. They became a production company now, so because they know they can't open, so they're doing gigs. They invest in equipment and to film, editing, and everything. So we're going to do an event there on the 8th of March, where all the artists, performers will be women, and we're going to be dance, music, workshops, and I will send the link to Jenny as well, so she can send to everybody, because it'd be very interesting. And we have Tara Kearns. She's a local visual artist, so she has loads of paintings. We have the original 5 Lamps painting that is in one of the slides that she did. And we got an award for her from the Arts Council. So it's a commission work. She's painting those pictures from homeless people. And so she's doing a big work talking to those people with North Inner City helping homeless. And so she's painting, and we're gonna have her exhibition in Delight Studio. To be confirmed, because she's in the countryside now working on the paintings, but we wanted to have that from the end of April to beginning of May, and then the people that she's painting, they could come to the studio, and see the exhibition, and I think that would be very interesting exhibition. It's a beautiful work she's doing. We have the CHQ as well, where we're gonna have 3 artists exhibiting together. So it's gonna be some sculptures and paintings and drawings. So there are 3 women from the area, and we're looking forward for that one. It'll be very interesting. And I think it's gonna be in July. So when the venues probably will be open and you can have an audience. And we are working in a big project that is an outdoor project. Jeanette Lowe, she's a photographer, and she's taking pictures of the former dock workers. So, that's elderly man. They used to work in the docks, and we're doing the portraits and telling the stories. So this is our plan for this year as a festival. Then this is the mapping Dublin North side. So we have at the moment 6 different illustrated booklets. So they have a map on all the illustrations of the characters and important buildings in the area, and you can do the walking tour by yourself. You can get the little book. We distribute it for free. So we have the Monto walk, talks about Joyce's Monto, the Ulysses, but tell about a little bit of the true story and a little bit of the his version of the Monto. And then we have Dorset Street, Dublin Seaport, the Bromstalker. He's from the north inner city. And we have Shamrock Street. We are working in the Krug Park one as well. That's going to be launched this year, and a few others. And this is a project that we start with one little booklet in 2018, and just growing. And now we're becoming a social enterprise. We're going to train in local people to be the guides, so they will bring tourists and people to go around the area, talk about their history, the important. It's a rich area, in history and culture, and all the history of Ireland and the 1960 and everything else, arts. And most of the people don't know. So anyone that is interested, we have all the booklets, so we can send. I think you might have there in the in the studios, because we always send a few copies there. So that's one of our biggest projects at the moment, apart from the festival. Then we have, don't know if I'm saying right, but the Cernúnanog, and that's the event that Dublin City Council provide every year in June. So it's a day of youth. So loads of events for children. And for 3 years now, we had applied for different projects with different artists. And we've been doing loads of different events, as always for children. So the first one we had was a film, and was dancing in Dublin one. So we had a few dance teachers working in local schools. And then at the end, we film all this. So we create a little documentary of 5 minutes. And also we have on the day of the Cernúnanog, we have a presentation of the girls dancing and all the kids. So that was our first. Then we have the fashion is fun in Dublin one, that we had some fashion designers working with the girls. So we have the little picture here of the girls. So they learn how to sew and each one made their outfit. We had 8 weeks project, and then at the end they had the catwalk, and it was a very good event, and all the girls love it. And we work with the Ballybach Youth Centre, so all the kids from the area as well. And we do workshops. We work a lot with children, young people. So this picture here actually, sorry, it's from an artist that used to be a resident in the fire station, Vanessa Dawes. So she had an event called The Magic of Water. And so the children built these big monsters, and she helped them, and then was in the swimming pool. So they're floating monsters, and was a dance involved. So it was a beautiful project that she worked with the kids. And we always work on a different artist, seeing, that they have ideas come to us, and we are like a partner. We get the groups together, sometimes the funding, we try to help in all different ways. So that was a very interesting uh, project with the Vanessas. And then last year, during the first lockdown, we started the Five Lumps Chat, and the idea of the Five Lumps Chats was like everybody was locked. We couldn't do the festival. We had to postpone it, and we started to have these informal calls, myself and Roisin, with different artists, and then we created this little chats. But was very good. The artists were telling us how they're doing during the lockdown, how they're feeling, and a little bit about them. So it was very welcome. So we decided to make this another project of the arts festival, or the hub, as we call ourselves now. So we're doing interviews with the artists like most every week, so we have loads to be launched. I'm gonna play. This is just a teaser of one of the interviews, so you guys have an idea of what you think. So I just play.
I finally studied in IT Sligo for 4 years, and I done their performing arts course, and then I moved to Dublin, and then I just started doing more and more workshops as well. I started getting really into children's theatre.
Yeah, so this was Lorgan. He's an actor. He did a play for the Five Lamps, and he's also a drag queen. So he did the drag storytelling that was on our projects for Cnúna Nog. But we have loads. We have, at the moment, I think we have 10 different interviews. So we'll put that in our social media and our YouTube, so you can watch the full interviews in our YouTube. And it's been very good, even for the artists, just to talk to people and share how they're feeling and how they're coping with the lockdown. And we, at the moment, as I say, we get people coming to us with different ideas. So we got this producer. She came to us with the idea of making a musical about the area. So we applied for the Arts Council and we got the funding. Unfortunately, we have to postpone because, COVID. But the musical is being produced, and so it's going to be a professional musical, with a professional dancers. So we have director, writer, actually famous writer Arthur O'Riordan, and he's writing the music, and then we have a director, Breda Debris. No,
Jada Debris.
Jada Debris. I confused two names. Jada Debris, she's the director, and but the idea is to tell the stories of the community, the struggles, and part of the arts participation on the project would be to have workshops with the community, like tech workshops and dance, workshops with children, all different things. So this part, we can't do anything at the moment, but we wanted to start to do something probably around October, if if we can. So that's our plan, but that's a very ambitious project, and it's the first time we are doing something like this, and very exciting. And then last year we were invited by Dublin City Council to produce an event for the Social Inclusion Week, and of course it was during lockdown, so we did an event with just the artists in the Mud Island Gardens, the community garden that's closes from the fire station. And we had Irish musicians, dancers, and Brazilians dancers and musicians as well. they have the whole day and they're dancing, playing together. And then we had this mural was made with different pictures and things, and it was just after the Black Lives Matter. So in the Brazilian community, we have loads of people of color, and they all came, and it was very interesting, to push the two communities together. And we got invited by Dublin City Council. They have their office in the area, is the NEIC, so they're our biggest supporter, and they're supporting everything there is to animate the area, to any project that has to do in any way to help the community to be a better place. So any arts or sports, most of the projects that they invest are to do with children, young people or elderly people. But they seeing, I think, anyway, see, it's a very good. Like they're seeing how the arts can change and have a big impact, in any society, and they are always willing to help. And they see us as a place to go for the arts in the area. So they are being a very big help for us as well to be able to develop all these projects, to be working all year. And so this year we're planning to do a different event for the social inclusion. So it's another thing we added to our calendar. So we probably work with different communities, not just the Brazilian. We see, but any ideas for that as well be welcome. The culture night, I don't know if probably you guys know well because it's going forever. So the culture night usually happens the middle of September, and there's one day all events for free. And we've been doing different events for the last 3 years. We had plays, we had the walking tours, and now it's just every year we create an event for the culture night. Sometimes we have ideas, sometimes people come to us with different ideas, and we just work as a partner or help in some kind of way. But we always doing something for the culture night as so what we wanted to get from this meeting, first of all, is to know the artists in the fire station. So we are open, myself and Roisin, to meet you guys, to visit, the studios, and to see what you're doing and how, in some kind of way we could work together, and to let you guys know that there's loads of opportunities, to work with us. So you can do workshops for schools, youth center, you can have projects, or you can have an exhibition, any ideas, and then in 2015, we had a group of artists from the fire station that had an exhibition in Marino College. And the College even bought a picture that is they didn't put up, but it's there. They bought one. And then we had the Vanessa Dawes project that was beautiful. And so after, if anybody has interest, you can always come talk to me or Roisin, and then we can, have a talk and see whatever. And the last slide, so it's quick. I just got a little video. This is like the highlights of our festival in 2019. So it was the last time we actually had a real festival. It wasn't online. So it's 1 minute, and it's just show everything that we had, so you guys have an idea how what we do for the 5 lamps, the 5 days. So go. It's not working. What's working today? Oh, let's see. probably just as because it's working. Okay, I guess on the YouTube, sorry. Sorry, just want to show that video. We have so many videos. There we go.
The Five Lamps Arts Festival 2019 was amazing. There were 7 days of festival with over 200 artists at 20 different venues within a 5-kilometre range of the Five Lamps, and over 5,000 people were touched by the festival. There were up to 100 volunteers from Ireland and overseas of all ages. We had 60 hours of non-stop music, 20 hours of poetry and flash fiction reading, 250 pictures printed, 10 hours of film screening, thousands of different dance steps, 25 kilometres of walking tours, countless smiles and infinite shared knowledge. See you next year.
So that was it, I think. So you have any idea what's the festival 7 days? And yeah, if you guys have any questions, hope you got it. What do you think, Roshi?
No, that was really comprehensive. It's can everyone hear me? I think, are you still sharing your screen? I wonder, maybe you could.
No, I stopped it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, I mean, it's so comprehensive. And but you know, the video there that you showed with just at the very end, it's amazing, like looking at all the metrics of the, you know, how many things you do. And it's kind of answered one of my questions, which was because it's generally and I know it's different at the moment, but in a given year, like how long is the festival? How long does it last for?
So between 5 to 7 days, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, every year we say it's going to be shorter, but then we get just longer, actually.
Yeah. The problem, I suppose, in the particular population that we're working with, you don't always get families going to events the way you would in a different community, you know, more middle class community. And so we have to do a lot of things during the day for schools and do a lot of school workshops. And then other people who live in the area, you know, they want to do something at the weekend. So it sort of stretches out. We try and confine it, as Marcela said. I mean, people say 3 days, 4 days is what we should do, but it doesn't work out like that, you know, and we have a lot of volunteers. And then if you put up an exhibition, people want it up for more than a weekend, you know, they want it up for a longer time. I mean, this year we're going to have one exhibition up for a month. That's in CHQ. We've 3 artists, Catherine Sankey, Lara Pittman, and Rebecca Kehoe. Amazing. So those 3 artists live within a half a mile of each other in the area, and they didn't know each other. Now, they were all of different age groups, but it was interesting because Catherine Sankey has an exhibition at the moment in Rua Red in Tala, and one of Lara Pittman's pieces for her work in progress is in the same kind of exhibition. So that was really interesting that they didn't know each other. But we met them the other day in CHQ. We looked at the space. And while we were there, Marcela had a phone call from the CHQ to say, oh, we can't take you in April. Would you prefer to do the month of July? So obviously now that's really good because of the COVID restrictions have been lifted at the end of May. But we thought, you know, a few weeks ago, we thought they'd be lifted at the end of April. So everything, we have to be really flexible this year. I think that's the most important thing for us to be really flexible. And all of the projects that Marcela is talking about, every one of them is connected to some part of the community. The community is quite diverse. So we try our best to spread ourselves. At the same time, we're looking for high art, but it has to be accessible as well, you know. So it's kind of a bit of a 3D jigsaw we're doing all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, just to remind everyone as well, is that I put Marcela's email in the chat, but if anyone kind of forgets to copy it, just come back to me. But it's Marcela at fivelancearts.ie, because I think what's really interesting and thanks again for, and Roisin as well, Marcela, just to be here, kind of, it's the joined up thinking and like demystifying the area and demystifying the organizations. And did you know that Catherine Sankey was one of our awarded artists last year? Do you know what I mean? It's just sometimes we just don't, certain kind of facts and, you know, kind of can't bypass one another, even though literally, you know, you're a stone's throw away. But we actually have a really beautiful piece of writing coming out about Catherine's work. We commissioned a poet, Julie Morrissey, and to profile the different awarded artists, and Chris is here. Actually, Catherine is working on a lot really beautiful pieces that went into the Real Red Show, I believe. I think. But so it's that kind of joined up thinking. But so I think that what is, you know, something that's really kind of worthwhile that could come out of today, that is if you know, Fire Station artists please do email Marcela to have, even if you know about the, you know, the festival, but just to kind of touch base again, to line up some studio visits, and they could be online. I think the givens for now, the givens are that, you know, they can be online, but actually we've been, you know, running, you know, other kind of curatorial programs, and the feedback from the curators, and I think from the artists generally, artists you can testify to, but I think they work quite well in a way, and nearly as a segue into like a future in-person meeting, because you guys are so close. So what you could, you know, maybe touch base and to kind of have a warmer upper of, you know, if, you know, the festival is probably obviously well underway this year, but maybe for, you know, for artists that are here or artists that have just recently moved in, if you're interested in kind of evolving something, and, you know, something doesn't necessarily have to come to mind, you know, immediately, but just to kind of create that relationship and the links with Five Lamps, to, you know, to kind of start the conversation that could turn into something that could inform, you know, kind of future bursary, you know, and future kind of collaborative projects, you know, down the line. But I think it starts with the conversation and starts with having this kind of deeper or current understanding of the festival. Sorry, that was very long, but I'm very excited. I think there's so many great opportunities to really be evolved through such like a local festival that's been, you know, going for so long. Like that's 14 years, you know, like Fire we've been here for 26 years, so we've kind of pipped you in that sense, but just like that's a long time. That's a really deep.
And another connection, Jenny, is that one of our board members, Mick Rafferty, he was on the board of the Fire Station for a long time, you know, so it's really interesting that he's from the area, you know, he's a very active he's very involved in all kinds of community action, and he's still involved, you know, through his community theatre company, but he was on the Fire Station board for many years. And then just to, one of the things Marcela was talking about was that in 2015, Alison Pilkington curated an exhibition, and I think we had 8 people from Fire Station exhibited. I know one of them was Maria McKinney, and she also then did another project with us where she worked with some of our students who were coming back to education, and it was around Halloween, and she did a lot of you know, working with them on how to make Halloween costumes and stuff for children, on an extreme budget, and the people that were working with her, the students, are continuing her templates. They use them every year, I know, and that's, you know, for many years now that's been happening. So there are connections, but also there's opportunities as well to, if people are interested in working with particular groups, or you know, we're open to any kind of collaboration.
Yeah, and that's what's nice, because there are, I mean, it's so diverse. It has its own, like Dublin One, you know, it has its own environment and atmospheres and histories, and but and there are so many groups, as you say. So I think just even having that, you know, but yet at the same time, not all artists who are coming through Fire Station necessarily would say, oh, I'm a socially engaged artist, or I'm a participatory.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? But yet there's still inroads or points that still doesn't preclude an artist from, you know, being, you know, that's what I think is like a really interesting, kind of, not challenge, but like, you know, if just as a means of thinking about how, you know, so it might be with a small group, or a much more kind of like a school, or, you know, there's so many different kind of inroads in terms of, but still remaining, and I guess maybe because I work with artists in schools as well, so it's just that way of protecting both the artist practice, that integrity, and making the connection with the community like super valid, and you know, so I think that's important.
And we would offer opportunities, you know, to show work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just so that the studios visit, you know, would be a great way to start. So, you know, if any guys want to contact us,
are there any questions actually from any of you guys? In terms of, because it's a nice group actually, just in terms of how many, does everyone know about the Five Lamps Festival? Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, can I just say there, Jenny, I have such a soft spot for Five Lamps, because it was my first ever exhibition when I was in college. So yeah, it was back in 2012. I worked, it was Alison Pilkington as well, actually.
All right.
And I was in third year of college at the time, but it was such a positive experience for me, and it was really formative. And I went to college there on Portland Row in DIT, so I've been kind of in the community since. You know.
Were you involved in that project?
Exactly, yeah, I was, but
that was
it's just so fabulous. Like, it's so embedded in the community, and it's lovely to kind of see how it's evolving year on year. And I suppose it's lovely now, because now I'm living here for the last few years, and just that you're so open to kind of touching base with us is brilliant. So thanks for that, and thanks for the presentation, Marcela, as well.
Thank you.
I suppose from my point of view, because I'm a teacher as well, so like I love the education focus that you have, and I think that's kind of something that would be, I just think that's really interesting. So yeah, I'll definitely send you an email. I think it would be great to kind of touch base again. I'm also really interested in the idea of the CHQ, because that's such an amazing space. So I'm really glad to hear that you're using it.
Yeah, it's great. D-Light Studio is great as well. It's nearer to you guys, but it's freezing. That's the only thing about D-Light.
Yeah, and you have to bring people, you know, to D-Light and CHQ, just like people walking there every day, so you know, have a lot more contact, you know,
in CHQ before COVID, 8,000 people walked through it a day. So for us, it was a great place to have an exhibition. You know, we've used it before, and there's great footfall, and that's what, you know, if artists are exhibiting in a place like that, you know, it's great to have their work seen by so many people, and it's in a very accessible place, really.
Thank you.
And I imagine this, like the connections with CHQ and the other, because you've been going so long, that it's or I guess it's a question. It's like how do you find how do you go about finding like kind of partnering organizations in the area for?
I think Jenny, the most important thing is the person that is answering the phone.
Yeah.
So for a few years, I found it extremely difficult to get to grips with the person. It took a while, but personalities change. Maybe when you're trying to get those relationships, maybe I was asking the wrong question, but certainly the person that's working there in that role now is being really open to us, and Marcela will tell you she's been really, really helpful. And I think also the fact that they have such big spaces is just great. We a few years ago when we had an exhibition there, we had a local dance school did a flash mob dance there. It was just spectacular. It's a great space. It's a great open space. But the meeting the right person, I think Marcela, you'll say that.
Yeah, because a few years, what's it like? So 2019 that they got a new person, the management.
Just a different personality.
Because they'd send in emails and asking to have a talk, and you'd not getting much feedback, and then suddenly you just get somebody that is like very interested and helpful and trying.
And I think sometimes it's not that people, I think, Marcela, it's not that the person isn't interested, but they don't really see what the possibilities could be, and I think this conversation that you've set up, Jenny, with us is really important, because we're open to every kind of art, from opera to graffiti. That's just the way we want to be, and we want to have it accessible to as many people in the area as possible. It's very geographically based since the start.
Yeah, super.
Yeah.
And actually on that, I was also just curious to know, I know you chatted a little bit about it, but the Five Lamps chats, how does that work, or what's the format of that?
Well, we've had a few artists, Marcela and I have both done this, where people who have worked with us before, or who have had work in the festival, we talked to them about their work. So the last few ones where I did an interview with John Scott from Dance Theatre Ireland. So at the moment that's been edited, and we'll put that out on our social media. I also did one with Gemma Dunleavy. So Gemma Dunleavy is a singer. She's from the area, and she has worked with us for the last couple of years. So Gemma is an up-and-coming female vocal artist, but she's also an SNA working in a school in Sheriff Street. And Gemma and myself and Marcela set up a children's choir about 3 years ago. And it's in the beginning, what we did with Gemma, we just gave her a group of children from an after schools club. But of course, in that group of 20 children, not everybody wanted to sing. So it didn't really work. And then the following year, we changed it around and we just advertised it, and a group of children got together, and they've been progressing really well. But then COVID came and it stopped completely. So the children have been, messaging her and trying to get her to do it again, which obviously we're hoping she will do. And she's interested in it as well. And she was really amazed that these children were so enthusiastic about writing songs. So these are like 8, 9, 10, 12-year-olds, so they're quite young, but it was just fantastic. And I think the biggest thing for them and for us is that she speaks their language. Like she's of that community, and she doesn't have a mid-Atlantic accent. She has a normal Dublin accent, and so these children are relating to her, and she's bringing out the best in them. But at the same time, her own career is taking off, which is great, and we're delighted. So Gemma had a chat with us, and that's been edited at the moment, and we're hoping to have one every couple of weeks or one every week. The artists that we're talking to are just really happy to talk about their work, and it's one way for us of keeping the Five Lamps in people's minds. And the other day, a group of people in Sheriff Street themselves got together, teachers, creche workers and creche workers and teachers got together and they did the Jerusalem dance. So they're trying to show that, you know, this challenge. They're trying to show that there are good people. There are people in Sheriff Street who are having, you know, creating a nice community for their neighbours, in spite of all the bad publicity that they get. You know, there is a lot of bad publicity, of course.
Yeah, no.
Oh, sorry, Jenny. It's
No,
just like the chats. I think it's a great way to, you know, to keep in contact with the artists, and actually it's good for other artists to see how everybody's doing, because I think at the beginning of the chats everybody was like struggled, you know, with the lockdown. Nobody was like, everything was cancelled, nobody knew what to do, and then you see when it's progressing and you know, getting used to being in isolation, then you talk to the artists and the interviews, and now people just change the way they do their art, you know, and they're like just being like creative in a way to perform, and that help other artists, because if you think like you're the only one that struggles, or, you know, like you're not, everybody's going to the same thing, we're all in the same boat, and it's good to have these chats for everybody, you know, to see like, oh cool, it's not just me, you know, I'm doing okay or not, but everybody's trying their best, you know, this moment.
That's nice. Yeah. And I'm opportunistically saying that maybe one of the fire station artists might be, because it's been so curious. I mean, living in the fire station during March onwards to last, it's been, you know.
Yeah, we'd be delighted, particularly Marie Farrington, as she has been exhibiting with us before, worked with us before. It'd be great to have her on board.
Yeah,
be first on the list.
Invitation.
But also you guys are, because you do so much, it's like you're this, I think what's nice about the chats as well, because you're like the embodiment of the festival in a way, like you're kind of the blueprint, or the human blueprint of, you know, doing so much. And I know that you've got this very amazingly, I was looking on your website and looking jealously because it's so new and shiny, and we're about to get one soon though, aren't we, Chris? People lost on our website and never seen again.
Well, we've had all kinds of problems with our website, and the latest version we paid for, but then we have a very good, we paid for it, but it wasn't what we ordered. Isn't that right, Marcela? We didn't quite, you know, we said what we wanted, we paid for it, and then we got it, and we weren't really sure what was wrong. But now we've got this fantastic volunteer who's taking it apart and putting it back together again, you know. So the basic product was fine, it's just she's actually shining it up.
And is there a newsletter that you can sign up for, just for everybody who's on your newsletter?
We do a newsletter once a month, so we send loads of stuff. So that'd be great. So everybody that wants to get in contact with us, we're
email.
Send me an email.
And we have a YouTube channel, and that looks back over the years at various things. You know, not every year was documented exactly the same, because every year we get maybe up to 100 volunteers. You know, every year has been different. Sometimes the festival went as much as 10 days, so you can imagine the amount of people we would need to be at different venues. But every year a different, you know, volunteers would come along and they put their stamp on it, and we've got so many really good memories from those people who've worked with us over the years. So it's been really fantastic volunteers over the years.
Sure, amazing. Well, thank you again for doing that today. It was just really great just to kind of have it current again, and I do really think it's a, you know, in terms of kind of short term or long term, you know, kind of looking at ways and means of connecting. And I think there's But I do think, you know, a kind of a studio visit or a meeting that then turns into like kind of a more materialized studio visit when we can all open our doors again. Just, you know, just to kind of keep it going. I think, I think there's really wonderful opportunity. But thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks so
Bye.
much.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye now.